Watching Bluey is definitely one of the best relaxation therapies out there, but did you know that some moments of the show were deemed so heavy by Disney that they censored some scenes or even removed entire episodes? Deadly spin. Indeed, the reasons for censoring some of these scenes are quite hard to accept. That's exactly what happened in the episode Housework, when Bandit and Chili try to mimic the strange dance steps created by the girls, but both fail, which is pretty funny. At one point, Chili even falls into her husband's arms trying to do Bingo's move. And all of this seems pretty harmless to me. Don't know about you, but Disney disagrees with our opinion and deemed it could be dangerous because kids might hurt themselves trying to replicate the same steps at home. That's why the scene is cut after Bandit's first spin, skipping straight to the vacuum cleaner image that should come much later. Anyway, that's Disney thinking we're all too old to do crazy dance moves.
While spinning.
Oh yeah, while spinning. What? Ow! My groin! That's funny, is it?
Besides this censored scene from Bluey, we've picked several others for you to check out in this video. Too many funny faces. Besides excessive spinning, it seems like the international distributor of Bluey's show also doesn't fancy too many funny faces on their streaming. That's because Disney requested a small segment to be removed from the mini Bluey episode where Bingo shows Bluey she can be quite unpleasant. She does so by wearing a giant set of false teeth and a piece of tape on her nose, making one of the funniest and creepiest faces in the whole show. Later, the girls go to the living room and scare Bandit with this new face of the little pup, so we see Bingo's face twice. The catch is that in Disney's adapted version, we only see Bingo's face when Bandit flips through the newspaper. So it's allowed to see the funny faces, but once is enough. Twice is too much. Daddy's pregnancy. Now, let's talk about an episode that was simply deleted from Disney+. Officially, Bluey's second season has 52 episodes, but if you access the streaming service of the world's largest entertainment company, you'll see that there are only 51 episodes. That's because the Daddy Drop episode, where Bandit pretends to be pregnant just to prove that women exaggerate during this period, was completely removed by Disney. Yes, you can access the streaming, and it's not there. It simply vanished. The reason? This whole episode was deemed controversial, but the scene of Bingo giving birth and plucking her father's belly hair was considered the heaviest of all. But honestly, I found it exactly the opposite, since the episode showed children more or less how this beautiful moment of the human life generation process works. But we're talking about Disney, right? It doesn't need to make sense, they just need things to be done as they say. The most ironic thing is that not long ago, Bluey's official channel posted the full episode for free on YouTube for anyone to watch. Sorry about that, Disney. And in reference to this posting of this episode against Disney's will, comment below #DaddyBaby if you're also against the censorship of the Blue Dogs episodes. Train Ticket. Another quite normal episode that underwent a controversial kind of censorship was Trains. In it, we see Bandit pretending to be the ticket collector on a train where he was also the engineer. And when Bluey hands him the imaginary ticket, she suggests he pass it all over his face. The problem is that only after she says that, the Blue Pup herself says she hadn't given the ticket collector an imaginary ticket, but a piece of poop. However, someone at Disney thought this would be too inappropriate for the child audience. So, Mickey's company asked Ludo to redub this part, and instead of poop, Bluey now says she gave him a slug. Honestly, I wouldn't want to hold either of them, but maybe a slug is more harmful to health. Not sure, of course, but just a thought.
That isn't a train ticket.
Huh?
That's a slug.
What?
Babies. We know one of Bingo's specialties is asking difficult questions, especially to her poor dad, who doesn't know the answers to her questions. And exactly one of these questions was deemed too inappropriate by Disney, and thus it was promptly deleted from the version that is broadcasted in most countries. When Bluey has an idea for a new game, Bandit and Bingo are left alone on the tree swing. Then the pup asks the dreaded question parents don't like to hear because they're embarrassed to answer: how do babies get into their moms' bellies? At this moment, Bandit makes that "oh my god" face and simply lets go of the swing, making the little girl spin several times.
Dad,
Yeah?
how does the baby get in the lady's belly?
In the version available on Disney Plus worldwide, as soon as Bluey says she has an idea, the scene cuts to the Blue Pup elaborating on the game, and shortly after, she finds Bingo completely dizzy, which doesn't make sense to those who don't know she spun several times with the swing, because this scene was cut. More babies. And indeed, everything indicates that Disney doesn't want the subject involving babies to be too addressed in their cartoons, as we found another example of a censored scene directly related to it. In the episode Perfect, we see a flashback of Bluey remembering the day she played boomerang with her dad. The catch is that while she spun wildly, Bandit chatted with Fido, Winnie's dad, Bluey's friend. And from the context of the conversation, they're talking about some health procedure, which is probably a vasectomy, which prevents dads from having babies. But Bluey's dad says Chili still wants to try to have more puppies, so he hasn't had the surgery yet. But Mickey's house believed this topic wasn't appropriate for a children's show, so they asked Ludo to re-record this part, implying that the two friends were now talking about extracting canine teeth. And Bandit says he doesn't know if he should remove his teeth because he might want to bite someone someday. So, we can talk about wanting to bite others, but nothing related to babies, okay?
Look, I'm keen to get it done, but Chili, she wants to keep her options open, but I don't know. Do we want any more of these things running around?
Pony. You probably know about the silliest scene in the history of cartoons that was censored, the pony pooping in the market episode. But we're not going to talk about that, but rather about the scene derived from it that was also censored. In the Pass the Parcel episode from the 3rd season, we go through the birthday party of several different children, and one of them is Muffin, Bluey's cousin. And guess who's there? That's right, Buttermilk, the same pony that starred in Bluey's censored scene in the 1st season. And guess what she did again? That's right, another pile of horse poop. As you might imagine, Disney censored this detail once again, removing the poop this time without needing to cut pieces of the scene. This makes me wonder, why does someone at Disney hate horse feces so much? If you also enjoy Bluey and all its episodes, censored or not, subscribe here to our channel so you don't miss our next videos. Bathroom. Speaking of doing number 2, it really seems that the subject is quite delicate in Mickey Mouse's house, as another scene involving that same theme was completely cut from the series. This happened in the Facey Talk episode. Right at the beginning of the episode, we see Trixie, Muffin's mom, warning Stripe that she would be quote-unquote busy, and she asks Bandit's brother if he can handle taking care of the girls. He says, of course. So Trixie disappears from the scene, and we don't know what she was going to do. At least not until Muffin barges into the bathroom, and we all see that Trixie is on the throne reading a newspaper in a relaxed manner. I don't blame her. After all, the bathroom is a great place for meditation. But Disney didn't think the same way and simply cut this invasion of privacy from Stripe's wife, and the episode remained unchanged except for this quick intrusion into Trixie's queen moment. Exercise. We have to be fair and say that this time, censorship didn't come from Disney, but from Ludo Studios, the creator of Bluey's show, and we'll explain every detail about it properly. The exercise episode is part of the penultimate block of episodes released from the 3rd season. At the beginning of it, we see Bandit in the bathroom using the scale, but it's clear he's not happy with the number that appears. All of this is part of the episode's introduction. The problem is that after it aired in Australia, Ludo received contacts from several parents claiming that the introduction was offensive and made some children not feel good about themselves. So, after a flood of complaints, the company simply decided to cut the entire introduction of the episode and go straight to the part where the name and the beginning appear. In every streaming service where Bluey is broadcasted, the scene no longer exists. She was simply erased. So, here's a tip for you. Drink plenty of water, eat well, and exercise. Your health will thank you. Nationality. Now, let's talk about a scene that was modified by Disney involving the nationality of some dogs participating in the Explorers episode. Jack's dad, Rusty's friend, is lost and can't find his way to his son's school, so he stops to ask for directions in a strawberry plantation, and he meets two characters. When he asks for directions, he ends up finding out that the two are tourists who are in Australia only for a while, and one of the characters, the Doberman, identifies herself as being from Argentina, and the Bulldog as being a native of France, more or less like the end of the 2022 FIFA World Cup. But the company asked for the scene to be redubbed so the characters no longer say their nationalities, but say they're just backpackers. But why? These are the questions. I would really like to have answers to all of them. But since that's not going to happen, I'll keep watching some very good videos like the ones we're leaving on your screen right now. Watch them and then tell me if you like both. Until next time!